do not ever put your baby's life at risk. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Muna, or you can call me Muna. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. On this channel we discuss motherhood, lifestyle, and everything in between. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you should subscribe now. I'm based in Nigeria, and to be specific, Lagos State. It's a struggle getting daycares in Nigeria. And this is not a case of there aren't daycare. There are so many daycares, but how many of them would meet your standard? I want to show you guys things I had to look out for, things I was conscious about, and things you should look out for if you're planning to take your baby below 1 year to daycare. If you're interested in this, keep watching, and I'll be sharing these tips right in this video. As a new mom and a first-time mom, getting a good nanny is hard. When I mean good, a good nanny with good intentions is hard. So I decided to do daycares because I was preparing for my exams. I had to go back to work. There were just so many things that was happening at the same time. I had to. And I think around that time my baby was 7 months old. As at 7 months I had to take my baby to daycare. And it was a decision that was so hard for me to make, but I had to just make it. And trust me, I was that mom. I was that first time mom. I was extremely sensitive. I was so cautious. I literally visited over 15 daycares to just find the right one that worked for me. So one thing is I had to decide on the kind of daycare I wanted. For me personally, I preferred having a home instead of a school. I don't know, for some personal reasons I wanted a home. That is, in Lagos here we have some families or some mothers who would just, or persons who would just have their space as a daycare center. That worked perfectly for me because it made me feel like my child would adjust more in a homey environment than a school. I don't know if that makes sense, but that was my perception to making my decision. That was what I was, more concerned about, because at that moment I was just all about what was best for my child. That's your decision to make, but my decision was a home environment, and that worked perfectly. The next thing to look out for is how many children are in that space. Now, I went to some schools, I visited some schools or homes where you had so many kids, like over 40 kids or 50 or 30, and I was just concerned about the carers. How many carers are attending to these children? How to look around, ask questions like, okay, how many carers do you have? Figure out how many, or the overflow of students they have or children they have, and in your head you can tell if the carers are enough to take care of these kids or the children. So what I did was I had to prepare myself for a change in my routine. Since I gave birth, I had a routine of sleeping, eating, nappy change. Everything was balanced, and that's one disadvantage that comes with, introducing your baby to a new, different setting. You need to know this information so as to tell them what your baby routine is. So either they choose to follow up with your routine, or they would blend the baby into their routine, which was what happened in my case. They had to blend Star into their routine, and that was it. It took a toll on my personal routine with my baby because we had a routine since birth, and then of course the routine was always changing with time. But then introducing him to a new space, I had to be open for having situations where he might come back and then he's overtired because he hasn't slept the whole day, or he might come back and he had slept the whole day, so he has to be awake the whole night. Obviously, I'm still adjusting. I'll always still adjust to all these things, but that's one thing you should be open to. Next thing is health and safety. Now, how healthy is the environment? How safe is the environment? I, for one, took a tour. Like, for every daycare I visited over 15 or 20 daycares in my area. For every daycare I visited, I had to go for a tour, and trust me, like, I didn't have to go past the parlor or the first room. I just saw something that would always trigger me, and I'm like, you know what, this is a no for me. Like, I was that detailed, right? And it's also for the best, because it just helps you know that you want the best for your child. The space where your baby would be, it's probably the play area. Are there toys laying around? Are there toys that could harm your child? Are there toys that could choke your baby? Do they have separate areas for changing your baby's diaper and eating? So for hygiene's sake, you don't want to have your baby eating in the same areas where other kids have been changed. So you have to ask this question. At this stage, you don't know what they're sensitive to. You don't know what they can react to. So you have to be very careful. Another thing you need to pay attention to is the timing. The timing involves understanding what time they open and what time they close, and the days of the week they're available. Right? For mine, I was personally looking for Saturdays. I was looking out for daycares that would open on a Saturday. For reasons being, my work sometimes falls during the weekend. In fact, it falls mostly during the weekends. So I wanted Saturdays, but I couldn't get that, and I was okay with that. I had to compromise at this point because I loved the environment of where, the one I finally picked, which is where my son is presently. But I was very hell bent on the timing. So for this one, they do 6 to 6. So as early as, sometimes I leave home as early as 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to work. And understanding that I have a daycare that I can literally drop my baby off that early worked for me. It made so much sense. And this brings me to comparing schools and, home daycare. Schools probably open 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. But for this, I was able to get 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And of course, they had 7 p.m. as well. And they had 8 p.m. as well. But then there are conditions to it. Right? It could be a one-off thing. Could be a straight up Monday to Friday thing. But you need to understand the timing. Ask them what their timing is. If it works for you, perfect. If it doesn't work, then you can probably look for another option. Because this is basically everything I looked out for. And if you think there are more, you can, educate some moms down in the comment section. But these are things I looked out for. Now, things I still look out for. I'm going to share things I still look out for. I do some personal check-ins. And these are things you can also check out for if your baby is already in a daycare or when your baby starts daycare. These are things to check out for, look out for. First thing you need to do is have a conversation with the owner or the carer and explain what the baby routine is. Changing schedule, feeding schedule, explain it. Mine is every 3 hours or every 3 to 4 hours, and they stick to it till date. So you have to make it clear to them what your routine is for your baby. Say these things, say it how you want it. So when they break these rules, you can take actions, right? And another thing I do, which is an additional tip, is I always put a thermometer in his pack. Put medication in your baby's bag. The simple ones like paracetamol, you can put in your baby's bag. Put thermometer just in case they don't have it there, just in case. I feel like that would help you as well if you try that for your baby. Just put it there in case of unforeseen issues or situations. Always assess his bags every time he gets home, just to know what is being used and what was not used. So that's something you can do just to keep track of your baby. Look out for growth. Is there any form of growth? Is your baby clapping? Is your baby smiling more? For my baby, he makes a lot. When he started daycare, I started seeing some massive change. He was either screaming too loud, or he's crying too loud, or he's crying differently. He started screaming a lot. He started clapping, improvements, and then just be open to having good influence and then the bad ones. So let's be the bad ones. I won't say bad, but just weird ones, and then the good ones. So I look out for those things. That would help you just figure out or track down what's happening or what's new or the new things the baby is learning or is not learning. Another thing is you also have to look out for, I didn't mention this earlier, but look out for the entertainment they offer there. It might be TV, it might be reading. Do they read to the baby? Be sure that they're not, bombarding them with so much music, so much screen time. You might want to limit that or talk to them if it's something you've noticed that from beginning to end there's the TV playing. It's something you want to look out for. To look out for how well they take care of their sick babies. I won't say, don't take your sick baby to daycare, which I feel like you shouldn't. Especially when they're down with cold or flu, these things can be transmitted. So I don't advise any parents to take their baby to daycares when they're sick. But some parents do. Nigerian mothers, they do. Now you have to trust these daycares or daycares operative or owners to have like a different room for kids who are sick. It almost never happens in this country. Let me be honest. Let me not be speaking plain grammar. It's hard because most daycare I go to, I've seen you probably walk into a child having catarrh, cough, and everything, just to be in the midst of other kids, and then you're scared. You're praying that your child has a strong immune system to not pick up these things. And I think that's my greatest fear in daycares, and that's every mom's greatest fear and which is your baby being exposed to flu or cold or contaminating things that would affect your baby's health. So it's just something I still go through, I still deal with, still in a strict policy on everyone not bringing their sick babies to school. And that also has a downside, because me for one, if imagine I was going to, going to work and my baby is sick and then I have to go to work, you get, like, what am I going to do? I also will probably be calling one of my family members who is less busy. Just imagine they're not less busy, what happens? It's like if you're a daycare owner, or someone who owns a daycare, that should be a thing, it should be a rule that if your baby is sick, you can definitely bring them to school, but they will have a different, compartment or room. You'll be separated from other kids, and that's okay. Look out for its ventilation. Now, much air is getting into the room. Like 90% of moms who are scared to take their babies to daycare, their major fear is infected by either the environment or by other kids. I think that's the greatest fear, for moms, or new moms, or just every mother is scared of that. Now, guys, let's talk about deal breakers. These deal breakers means that do not take your baby to daycares that have any of these things I'm about to list. Don't take a baby to daycare that is too loud. I mentioned it earlier, overstimulation can be a problem. It is a problem. So look out for a daycare that is not too loud and not too quiet. There's a balance, right? Not too loud, not too quiet makes so much sense. Not take your baby to a daycare that has restrictive movement. Now your baby is growing, they are experiencing different things, they're trying to hit their milestone, they're trying to do so many things, they're trying to figure out what their body can do and cannot do. The least you can do is to expose them to a very spacious environment so they can move around, they can play around, tummy time, crawling around, trying to stand, all these things need space. Another is an environment that is dirty. Do not ever put your baby's life at risk, because infection can lead to anything. Germs, baby touching, because they are touchy at this point, they are touchy. Like, I would pay attention to even how the carers are being dressed, how they look. Are they clean? Are they wearing clean clothes? Do they smell nice? Because these are people that will hold your baby, and the baby would, of course, they are babies, they would touch, they would play just the way they play with you. They would to bite you or try to chew on your hand or chew on your body. And then imagine them chewing on these people's body, or chewing on their clothes, or biting their clothes, or eating their clothes. Just picture it in your head. Like, imagine my baby grabbing this person's clothes and chewing it. Is this healthy? Is this clean? Is this okay? Right? I think with that, you answering that questions in your head would give you a huge confirmation, or confirmation if you should go for it or not. But trust me, look out for everything. Like, if it is non-hygienic, if the environment is dirty, do not do it, guys. Another thing you should also look out for is pay attention to how they attend to other babies when they cry. Just pay attention. You'll be shocked at what you find out. You'll be shocked, right? Pay attention to these things, and pay attention to how they speak to your baby or other babies. Pay attention to how they treat other babies. Pay attention to how they feed other babies. That's the same way they would do to yours behind your back. So be very attentive every single time. Once you're sure that all these things are checked, the last thing you need is self-conviction. Now, convince yourself why your baby should go to daycare. For me, it took me a process of just reminding myself why he has to go to daycare. I have to go back to work. I have to prepare for my exams. I had to go through some personal issues. So, for a fact, I was struggling with just doing it. My husband was one of those people who had to convince me to, or gave me that, advised me and made me see some reasons why I should take him to daycare, because I was really scared. And I feel like every mom, or some moms out there, fall into that category of being scared to just make that decision. Judgment that comes with it, people always shun at you like, you're trying to stay away from your baby, you don't love your baby enough, or there's just lots of, judgment that comes with it. I'm not concerned about the judgment. I was more concerned about what I felt and how comfortable I was with it, choosing a daycare. Overall, it comes down to you, what you want, and if you're okay with your baby going to a daycare, it is so normal. I feel some mom go through a lot just deciding on, is it okay for my baby to go to a daycare? And it's the fact that they are less than 1 year old, they can't express themselves, they can't talk, they can't say anything. I mean, with everything happening in the world, with Instablog, I know you guys don't know. If you know what Instablog means, then good for you. With Instablog carrying so many trendy issues and about daycares, it's just crazy. The insecurity in Nigeria is crazy and alarming, and it's okay for every mom to be scared. But at the end of it, you just go with your gut. If your gut says no, then no. If it says yes, then yes. But still be careful. Still look out for these things. If your baby on a norm is very active and very, energetic, and you notice that since he started his daycare, he comes back home tired, weak, too sleepy, look into it. Look into these things, be watchful and prayerful as well. Okay, that brings me to the end of this video. If you loved and enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what your experience has been with daycares in your country. You can leave that down in the comment section below. Let us relate. Guys, follow me on Instagram at @TheRealNickMuna. I drop tips on baby-led weaning. I drop tips on motherhood in general. If you're interested in that, follow on Instagram, and I would love to have you there. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you so much. See you guys in my next video. Bye.